I am definitely actually liking SKK's team pick. It's a lot more standard. It's a lot more solid. Whereas EBO, some champions that we haven't really seen in the solo queue lately.
Renekton is Twinkie's comfort top lane pick, though. He has a lot of games played on him. Has been playing him a lot recently. So he's looking for that early game damage especially on a Nasus.
Right. Like, as a top laner yourself, Tay, how does that Renekton Nasus matchup go in the top lane? Because Renekton has
Oh,
kind of fallen off, especially in the solo
but
queue or the pro scene.
Renekton has fallen off, but there has been a slight comeback for a little bit more damaged top laners recently. So Renekton should be winning that early game on the Nasus. Uh, but if Nasus does get his farm, plays safe in lane, he can make it up quite easily into the late game.
And as we all know, Nasus
Renekton
definitely
needs to pressure
scales.
early.
Yeah, that Nasus definitely scales a lot better than Renekton in that late game, especially with the Q that he brings to the table. Um, EBW though, though they are safe, you know, they might not have the shields that SKK has, but they are definitely safe. You know, they have some immobile champions, but their CC is out there. They have a really big front line with that Renekton, and they have range. That long range stun from Syndra, if she's able to land it, can definitely get them out of a tight pickle or engage. Again, along with that Zyra.
They do have a pick comp on EBO where SKK is running that ball delivery system. Group them up, get that Jinx rocket out, get that Morgana ult out. So they have they have a very strong four-man team to let Nasus do that one-man split push.
Yeah. Um,
They have a lot of good burst damage coming up for team fights. Where EBO definitely needs to have those picks with the Kha'Zix and the Syndra.
no, I definitely agree. It is going to come down to how these teams play out their comps and if they can play it out to the fullest. I will be crossing my fingers to see a great ball delivery system on that Rengar. Hopefully we can see it. Again, guys, this is the BC Gold League bracket. This is everyone in playing in these matches are going to be Gold League or lower. They are still in their group stages, if I'm
Yes.
correct. And so it is a best out of two. As we're waiting for the
Yeah.
counter, uh, yeah,
I'm gonna say a good matchup to look for is gonna be that Orianna Syndra mid lane. Both mid laners are very comfortable, have good KDAs and ranked with their respective picks. So it's gonna be see who can get the farm. Orianna's a bit safer, has that shield. Syndra has that damage. So gonna be see if Ori can make it out into the team fights and try to farm up big.
yes, I
So
agree. I
I'm gonna
think
say that's gonna be our feature matchup right
feature
there.
matchup is going to be the mid lane. I definitely agree. Me just being as a support main, I am definitely going to be looking out for the Zyra Morgana matchup. I want to see if in on paper Morgana is stronger than Zyra, but Zyra can pull out a lot of tricks, and they are going to be pushing quite hard with her plants. Um, which then again, if Rengar can capitalize on them pushing, being aggressive, there is again there is no Thresh there to protect that immobile MF.
Yeah, that's the big thing there. Is there's not a lot of escape for the for actually the whole team is very well, the carries anyway, the squishies, Syndra, MF, Zyra, not a lot of escapes besides that flash. So if they can burn that flash early, I'm gonna say there's gonna be a lot of ganks coming down onto them.
I'm very
Uh,
excited on seeing this. But Tay, just now that we're loading into the game, just from team comps alone, just on paper, who do you think you give the edge out to? Um, Dread Ambition and
Uh,
EBO, or Red Dragon and his SKK team?
I would have to give it to SKK. I like the Oriana Rengar. I think they have like I said, they have a very strong four-man team fight and just can let Nasus farm up big. And the teleport on Nasus is going to allow him to be teleporting away from the Renekton almost to keep that farm up once the laning phase is over. Renekton without the teleport might give up some early drags because he just won't be able to. They won't be able to have the 5v5. It would end up being a 4v5. So I'd have to give it to SKK here.
I definitely agree. I like their team comp. It's a lot more put together. EBO's team comp though, I see the strengths of it. It's just very patchwork. And a lot of things have to go very well for them. But here we are on the Rift, and as I just put everyone where they're needed to be, can get into
Good
this
call.
game.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I always find Zyra is almost a more offensive version of Morgana. They do very similar things. They both have a long range bind. They have an AoE damage move. Zyra has the plants almost as her utility, but I find the Black Shield to be a bit more defensive as Morgana's utility. And AoE ultimates, of course.
No, I definitely agree with you. Agree with you there. They are almost their kit is very similar when it comes down to it.
Yes.
But here we are into the game. Starting in the blue side is going to be EBO with their patchwork comp, and over on the red side there is SKK. So I'm looking at this, and there are very safe wards for both teams. Um, just very safe wards actually. Not too aggro, not providing. Just again very safe. They're wanting to. I think they're just wanting to get their junglers to have a good start in this game, because it is going to come down to those ganks. Kha'Zix, Rengar, very aggressive junglers. If they get snowballing, um, it's very hard to stop them.
Minions have spawned.
So at the start here, it looks like EBO has vision, knows where the Oriana is, just based off the ball being in that bush. But other than that, it's basically a blind map for both teams for knowing where each player is.
Again, they were just trinket wards, so they are now gone. There is a safety ward though by SKK up in the red side for that Rengar. Maybe
Very smart
afraid.
ward by the top laner.
Yeah, maybe very afraid that Kha'Zix might go for an invade.
In your opinion, who wins that the early trades between Kha'Zix and Rengar?
Kha'Zix, definitely.
Kha'Zix.
Just yes. I don't know too much about his changes. That's happened. I've been a little bit outside of the jungling scene, but if yeah, but if Kha'Zix definitely still levels up his Q, he just has that percentage of health damage or missing health damage, and definitely wins out on that trade. Rengar can definitely disengage if he has Ebola, and he should be safe in that match. But I don't see Rengar and Kha'Zix going at it in the early game.
Renekton's pushing in Nasus, that's to be expected in the top lane, getting the harass down. Already has a double the CS lead there, so doing what
Yeah.
he needs to be doing up there with his pick.
Definitely. Nasus is going to be bleeding minions, but it's just his job to stem the flow and not get too far behind. Root does land
Oh,
in the bot lane.
little
There's a
damage bottom.
very yeah, it was a very late black shield. Kha'Zix poking around in that red side, but a little late to the party.
So yeah, bot lane, MF is pulling ahead in the CS as well. So she's definitely pressuring that lane on the
Oh,
Jinx.
middle gank from Kha'Zix though. Sorry to interrupt. Burning that flash from Orianna, and getting her very low, maybe forcing her to back. Rengar is waiting around, just in case anything happens. But Syndra going aggro, stun lands, and that's first blood. Her flash was burned, and she decided to stay in lane when all her pots were already
little greedy for the minions.
little greedy for the minions is right. Um, but that was a wonderful setup by Kha'Zix though in the mid lane, burning Orianna's flash.
He actually gets the assist. He does get the assist gold.
Big win for EBO here in the early game.
Dreaded Ambition, to mention, is actually the captain of EBO, so might see him be making the calls on their side.
He is playing a jungler that again snowballs with that pressure, so he can make some calls for the ganks. Syndra pressing her advantage in the mid lane. Bind lands though on Zyra, taking a ton of damage. Chompers does miss though. And they're able to disengage from that. MF again and Zyra. Sorry, there's just action happening in the bot lane. MF and Zyra are playing very forward, and Rengar takes advantage of that. Flash brought by MF. Bind lands though. The flash lands for the Rengar, and picks up the kill on MF.
Well played. Great binding by Morgana there.
Yeah,
and Zyra stays around.
Again, very greedy for EBO. Zyra misses the fact that that Jinx is dead and pushes up that lane versus the 3. I think maybe she thought Rengar was gone, but ulti comes out from Syndra. That early advantage that she got from that first blood got her to get 6 first, and to push that Orianna, getting her low, and then just finishing her up with the ulti.
Meeting up in the jungle, Rengar versus Kha'Zix. Rengar is isolated. Oh, Morgana comes to save the day.
That was a good play by the Kha'Zix, pushing that Rengar. As I said, you saw with isolation damage, with the Q damage, he was able to chunk a lot of Rengar's health. If it wasn't for Morgana, I think that would have been a pickup for EBO.
Yeah, surprising. This is the second time Orianna's done that. Coming to lane with no health pots, especially versus a lane bully like Syndra, that's a little odd in my opinion there.
Yeah, with her being so behind in this matchup now, Syndra 2-0, picking, has the chalice up. She walks in with a codex, right? Just watching her, she walks in with a codex, which I think is a very poor choice. Yes, it gives you cooldown reduction. Yes, it gives you AP.
Zyra with the big play.
Well, I missed that, but I'm guessing root lands?
Yeah, max range root landed, followed up with seedling into Q.
Oh.
A lot of damage coming up from Zyra there.
Fantastic, and bot lane has yet to hit 6. So that is a worry too. But as I was saying, she buys that codex where the MR from Chalice and the mana regen would have helped her out a lot more in a losing lane.
She's also going to be going through spells faster with the codex, running through that mana without the regen.
Yeah, I think it was just a very poor choice on her part when it comes down to the decision. Ulti comes out from both
Kha'Zix
Syndra.
actually jumps.
Yes,
Jumps the ult.
Oh, but Bind lands on Morgana. Will it be enough? Ignite lands from
Oh,
Orianna
big shutdown.
and takes down that Syndra. Again, so much aggressive play happening and fighting for that SKK blue. Orianna gets caught in the jungle. Kha'Zix burning his flash, Bind not landing, and he will be all right. Again, that
He makes it
aggression.
out.
They are hungry for this kill of this Orianna. I believe that is a mistake. But MF still lurking up there, wanting, stopping that Orianna back. The ulti from MF. It is not enough. Orianna gets out of dodge. She's stuck. She's stuck. Then
There it is.
Kha'Zix's patience pays off. Will he pay the ultimate price though? He does have double buffs on this Morg, but he the zap hits, the
great.
exhaust lands, Jinx picks up that kill. Onto MF. Chompers don't land though. Binding does.
Morgana's landing those bandings. Morgana is on point with those bindings right now.
She is a big playmaker for this Jinx, setting up so much for them. It is safe to an important thing to point out though. Look at the CS differential from that MF. And again,
Syndra pushing her advantage hard.
I really believe that SKK is not giving this Syndra enough respect. They are underestimating the damage that she can, and Rengar pays the price for it. Rengar definitely pays the price for it. He thought he could just walk into lane without a care in the world, and that's not the case. That is definitely not the case.
With that CS advantage from MF, it did allow her to do those roaming plays, leave the lane, and not be too worried about getting falling behind there. So Jinx needs to focus, just try to CS up for right now. Morgana can definitely carry that lane. She's 202, already with Frostfang, or Frost Queen.
Yeah, again, taking advantage of the fact that that's an added slow to a lane that does not have any escapes. Rengar definitely needs to come back down bot and again take advantage of the fact that MF and Zyra are playing so far ahead. Stun lands from Syndra in the mid lane, putting out a lot of harass. She does have double buffs, and that red burn will do great things. MF also pushing her advantage down in the bot lane, poking that Jinx down. But
Rengar's here. Rengar does not have ult. That's something to note. So he has to be relying on the Morgana binding or ulti.
Yes. And there it is. The Morgana ulti lands up, forcing a lot of flashes, zoning out that MF. But Kha'Zix is here to try to save the day, turns it around with Syndra, picks up the kill on Morgana. Yeah. So here's the breakdown of that fight. Yes. Jinx Ultra Mega Death Rocket fails to pick up a kill. Kha'Zix is still chasing that Rengar. Orianna is trying to support Rengar, try to get him out of here. Jump is coming off of cooldown. Soon, Shockwave lands. But that's a defensive Shockwave. Ulti lands from Syndra. Will it be enough? No, it won't. Wow, so much pressure happening from these teams.
Yeah, it's like watching LMQ versus LMQ in this match.
This is true. So I want to break down, take a moment. If the pressure subsides, this kill stops happening. That was a mistake on Rengar's. Yes, he might not have had his ulti, but he was not able to build up multiple stacks of ferocity in which that gimps his damage. Jump lands from there. Rengar wants that booty. Orianna picks up the kill on Syndra. It's that was definitely a good thing going on that Ori. She does need a little bit of help trying to get back into this matchup. Syndra just totally outclassing her. Again, our mid being the focus matchup, I believe that Syndra is just being outclassed. Morgana binds though, could save the day. Looking up the top
Well,
lane,
that
do you now 13 minutes into the game, do you think that Nasus has been able to make it out of that early game all
Well, his
decently?
stacks are at 150, so he's at 150 stacks, 72 CS at 30. He's actually made it out okay. Renekton didn't pick up an early kill, which he was always, as a Renekton, you're always looking for that early kill.
Big misplay, sorry, in the
Nasus?
dragon. There was no smite for SKK, and MF's ulti is not only able to pick up the dragon, but also able to pick up the kill on that Rengar. Big plays
a
from
great play
Maximum
by
Kawaii. Absolute big plays.
And that's the vision control coming out for them. They have a lot of good deep wards as well as a couple on the objectives there. They have a pink actually by the wolves,
Yeah,
not being noticed yet.
just looking at EBO's warding, they have two pink maps, two pink wards on the map. SKK, nothing. Right now they have two wards on that river. Again, Syndra making these gutsy plays because she is so far ahead. That flash ulti onto that Orianna, just kicking her while she's down, and the pressure is not stopping from EBO. They know that they are at an advantage. They picked up a dragon. They're ahead in farm and kills. These Syndra stuns are just so on point too, causing so much poke damage.
Yeah, they're really gonna need Morgana to get the black shield on right before those stuns come out.
Yeah. Kha'Zix going aggro on that Rengar. They're dueling. Or Shockwave misses though, and Kha'Zix is able
Good
to
flash
pick
on
up.
Kha'Zix.
And Kha'Zix is able to pick up that kill on Rengar.
So we're seeing a little bit squishier build coming out for Renekton top with the Brutalizer. Trying as much as he can force Nasus off that CS, but Nasus, with the most CS on his team right now, is making it out okay. As long as his team can kind of stop the bleeding, protect those inner towers, the late game with a Jinx, Orianna, Nasus is a little bit stronger, but Syndra is definitely snowballing this mid game for them.
Yes, roam up from MF, wanting to take out that top outer tower now. SKK though is here to respond.
Another thing we haven't seen yet is the Orianna ball delivery on Rengar. I really think they need to get that engaged down, try to lock up at least two people, get two quick kills, because at this point, this dragged out fight, there's more damage on EBO's side.
There are two things build order wise. Oh, Kha'Zix roaming in the bot jungle. Morgana binding could have landed. TP lands for Nasus to protect that top turret. Renekton falling really low. Rengar here for the cleanup. Will he be able to pick it up? Wow, the turn and face, the damage from MF was too much, and the ulti bait from Renekton. Absolutely, Renekton picks up that kill, and because of that commitment of two players up top, EBO is able to get mid tower.
Good quick heal from Jinx to save Morgana's life there. She would have died from the last auto.
Yeah, again, stun lands for
Another
Syndra on
stun
that
land.
Orianna, and the execution via her ulti. Syndra just having absolutely her way with this Orianna.
Yeah, and that all goes back to Kha'Zix, that level 3 gank mid, burning the flash, leaving Orianna with no summoners and no health, sticking around, giving Syndra that first kill. Might be something they look at next time, backing out or being a little safer there.
Yeah. You know that MF is so far ahead when she can lane versus a Nasus and feel okay. SKK definitely is just on the ropes this game, and they are kind of throwing their Morgana into off AP role. That arm guard coming out from her versus EBW. I don't know if that's a mistake or if that's a desperation move from them.
On the Morgana there?
Yes, on the Morgana. I seriously believe that Mikhail's would have been a better choice. Keeping that Jinx alive, or keeping that Orianna alive from the Syndra stun, because they need to realize that it's the Syndra that is making their game or their life in this match hell. Those long range stuns. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel Morgana with those early kills and her team not doing so well was trying to get herself into a carry position from the support lane. It's just not quite working out for her now because she's not picking up the gold she was early.
Yes. Yeah.
I do agree with the Mikhail's call though from you.
Yes, the Mikhail's supports out there just need to not underestimate the Mikhail's. It'll save your team more than it is. Again, look, stun lands on Jinx, and Syndra just pulls the trigger on her ulti, and Jinx pops. Nasus forced to help mid now to defend this. Is he strong enough to make a difference in this match?
I'd say he needs to be worried still. He has a frozen heart, so he is very tanky, but he has no health and no MR. Syndra can still cut right through him.
Yeah. And MF is strong, but it is Syndra that is the threat of this EBW squad. They are not giving her enough respect with those stuns, and she has been so on point. Second Dragon going over to EBW, solidifying their gold lead. It is 10k gold lead at 20 minutes for EBW.
Yeah, and they have 4 towers. Right now, if you're just looking at the Vision War, it's the deep wards are still out there for EBO there.
Yeah.
And not a lot of vision coming out for red side.
Yeah, SKK is definitely warding. Have picked up their warding game, but it is all defensive. All those wards for SKK are very near in their jungle.
Yeah, they have 0 vision on the river right now as well.
Renekton now going back up to that top lane, free farming, knows that his team can do pretty much anything without his help. Nasus has caught up in farm with Renekton, which was to be expected later on in the game, but Renekton finishing that Black Cleaver and going into his tanky stats, do you think he'll go for a Randuin's next with that Giant's Belt? Kha'Zix going aggro though on that Jinx. Stun goes down on Morgana. Ulti popped on that Rengar was not enough, but Kha'Zix executes with a Q. Jinx Ultra Mega Death Rocket misses, and Syndra again picks up her second kill of that fight on that Morgana. Flash stun! A little too eager. Will she be able to duel it out? No, Orianna picks up the kill.
Not quite. Rengar, with the Rengar's flash there, actually isolated himself.
Oh my god!
The bonus damage.
Speaking of which, Kha'Zix, the ballsy, leaps in and executes Jinx with his W.
Nasus could be getting a kill up top here though.
The flash coming down from Renekton.
There it is! Oh, flash Q stack. Getting those bonus Q stacks out. And teleports bottom to save. Nasus is holding his own this game at least.
This is true, but the fact that he had to burn so much that fight just to pick up a kill on a Renekton that was half his health just shows how much
and that's a Sunfire.
Zyra getting caught out though by that Rengar, but his team's there to support him.
And that's a lack of vision. They saw only one. They took the opportunity to try to jump one. That one turned into 5 real quick.
Wither coming down on MF though, Nasus, mind you, is giving chase to this. Black Shield does keep him safe. Morgana flash
flash
ulti
gun.
picks up the easy
Nasus
kill on
picks up a
Jinx,
second kill.
but
Syndra picks up a kill backline on Jinx.
there it is, Syndra flanking, and is just gonna go for that Orianna.
Oh my
Shockwave
God,
doesn't
the damage
land,
is real.
but will she pay for it with her life? No!
Great,
The scatter
great
the
scatter
weak.
the weak from her.
Fantastic, and all members of EBW are going to make it. She's going to turn and face this Renekton. She sees that he has no mana left, and he chased way too far. Renekton is right there. Syndra picks up Nasus. Renekton going absolutely ham on the support. Bind lands Zhonya's. Great Zhonya's. And
And the kill.
Rengar wasn't even able to finish.
Syndra
EBO.
was at about 150 HP that entire fight and just kited that perfectly.
Absolutely amazing. EBO is just taking their lead and running with it. I don't think
The split push support was a great addition to the team as well.
I honestly don't think that there is anything that EBO can do at this moment.
They something I actually completely didn't even realize in Champion Select is they had a lane bully in every lane with a snowballing jungler. That's actually a very big factor to their team comp that I didn't realize. You have to mention that. Ends up being a great pickup for them.
Oh, MF playing a little too far, but she does pop that Yumi's Ghost Blade and is safe. Or, as soon as I say that, that was a great chompers from Jinx. That was a great chompers from Jinx. Zoning her out and forcing her to take the long way around. Morgana, again, with that bind, very, very clutch. Rengar getting caught out.
They had vision on their red from their wards, saw he was low, Syndra just had to press R.
Yeah. Again, EBO having this advantage in this game and still, you know, not slacking on their warding. They know that if they ward well, they can make picks. Zhonya's
Actually,
coming out.
Funny enough, EBO's wards all just died.
Wow, that was a great Mega Death
Great
Rocket from
rocket.
Jinx. That was they all EBO clumped up for one of the biggest shockwaves that we've seen in this match.
Yeah.
And they did press that advantage without that MF, but MF is now back. Going on to that Nasus, picks her up. Rengar goes in, but Renekton says, no, get out of my carry.
Oh, Jinx picks up a kill. Jinx now at 4 kills. Actually, take a quick look at the gold lead here.
Yeah, Frostfang comes out from Morgana, able to give them another kill. Orianna picks that one up.
So Renekton, Nasus, even gold. So Nasus has definitely been holding his own. Jinx just picked up a couple. Jinx was 3,000 gold back. Now she's about 2,500. Not great, but she's picking up with that IE.
This
She
is
can
true.
get the crits. She can clean up.
Yeah, and this is what we were saying. EBO had to Morgana getting caught out by that Kha'Zix though, wanting to ward that dragon.
Oh,
She
that
will be able
binding.
to.
Great binding.
Yeah, she will be able to get out of there safely. But this is what we were talking about early on. SKK would fall behind in the late game, but in the early game, but their late game is there. You know, that shockwave from Orianna doing massive tons of damage, and then the execute from the Jinx Mega Death Rocket picked her up 2 kills that team fight.
And all inhib towers are up. We could be seeing a old school CLG EU style here, where they
Wonderful flash from
stall it out at
Rengar.
those towers.
Wonderful flash from Rengar, getting out of that Zyra ulti. Stranglethorn would have killed him.
But it's rough to see a support dueling a Rengar jungle evenly or at this point ahead of him in damage output.
Massive damage coming up to top lane on that Rengar though. Those Qs are going to work. I don't believe that Rengar though has any means of turning that around. MF coming to support her Rengar on that Nasus. Wither goes down on her.
She's caught out. Oriana's coming down.
And Oriana does pick up the kill. Will they? They're going to turn and face. He does have the ball speed up. All the while, though, EBW is split pushing bottom. No, and all the meantime, EBW is pushing that that bot lane.
Oh, Morgana's going aggro. We'll get the catch on the Zyra there.
Buys enough time for Rengar to come up.
Great flash Q for the pickup for Syndra there.
Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Kha'Zix absolutely just executes Rengar in the jungle. Again, that is a vision war that SKK is not winning.
Actually, both teams right now are lacking.
Super Mega
wards.
Death Rocket does not land or does not do enough damage, but the Zhonya's buys enough time for Nasus to pick up the kill on Syndra.
Nasus is the shining hope right now for SKK. He is tanking up. What is he at right now? He's currently at 363 stacks with the Triforce, so his Qs are gonna hurt.
Wow, that massive damage on that Nasus on that Jinx. Or, mind you, sorry, my bad, MF. Utterly just took away half of her health.
Chasing Kha'Zix though leaves the inhib open for a push right down the middle.
Yes. And with MF doing just so much damage, that tower is not long for this world. EBW now has 2 open inhibs. They have yet to get it, but they have some options now. Smart warding though, for, you know, if nothing else, the one ward that SKK needs, they have, and that's on the Baron Pit.
Yeah, they have a pink on there too, so it's just gonna be there until the moment EBO decides to take it. But in my opinion, EBO is so far ahead, like still with the gold lead, that they're not even thinking about Baron right now. They want those inhibs.
Now, Nasus giving chase to the Syndra. Chompers misses. Do you think that EBO is not respecting SKK's late game potential, the late game damage that is coming out of them? Or do you think that they know that they are so far ahead, it doesn't matter? Because as they are pushing,
it looks like. Well,
sorry.
There you go. They just got picked up 2 kills. So there was a few instances where great Death Rocket, where it looked
but the
like
answer to
EBO.
kill. Yeah, I think
could be the game
EBO.
right
Yeah,
here.
EBO right now is just flexing. That was a messy team fight and a very long chase, but they know it didn't matter in the end. And
I feel
EBO will take
They
it.
could have probably done this about 6 minutes earlier. They did play a little sloppy. They weren't grouped, and SKK did pick up a couple kills off that, but they grouped up, pushed the win right here.
Yes. Yeah.
And that all came from Syndra Kha'Zix winning that early game so hard in that mid lane.
Yeah. I think, yeah, in the pre-game we were talking so much and emphasized so much on this Oriana Rengar ball delivery system. But that never happened.
I didn't see it once.
That never happened because Oriana got behind in the early game. That was it. They shut her down and Syndra pressed her advantage, and she was never in a position to get big enough to make those kind of plays. Right? The one thing that we were stressing, EBO shut down. They saw it as a threat, and they knew, Kha'Zix knew that he needed to focus on that mid lane early. And that's exactly what they did, and they won.
Yeah, he burnt the flash. Oriana didn't respect the early game damage Syndra can put out. Stayed in lane with about 150, 200 HP. Syndra landed a Q, ignited, and Ori was done. And then Oriana came back with no health pots, and instead she picked up a amplifying tome, died right away again. She just wasn't respecting the damage that came out of Syndra.